Alright, what is going on, everybody? This is Trudger MC, and today I have a review of an older McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure. This time around, we have Azrael from the Batman Curse of the White Knight story. So, here is, if you don't know who this guy is, there you go, that can help give some information as to who this guy is. For me, I know him as that guy from the Arkham games that has the side missions where he's like, who are you, Batman? I'm going to take up your mantle, all of that. That's how I know this guy, but obviously this isn't from the Arkham series. This is from the Curse of the White Knight comic story. And I feel like the design here definitely reflects that. Though, he definitely does look like, the thing with DC Multiverse that has so many different designs is that you could really mix and match. So, this guy, so here is what Azrael looks like based off of a comic, a very specific comic, and then here is a Batman figure based off of a very specific movie. This is Batman and Robin Batman, and yeah, they look like, obviously they're from different sources, same company, but like, this is a comic, this is a movie, and definitely two different styles as well, but I feel like, because the DC Multiverse line, like, you could have this pairing, and it's like, oh yeah, there's Batman and there's Azrael. Obviously, Batman doesn't look like this in the White Knight storyline, but y'all get the idea. So for measurement, this guy being a 7-inch figure, going to the bottom of his boot up to the top of his head, he is, let's see here, that looks about like 7¼ inches, give or take, not including these things with his cape. And if y'all are wondering, that translates to about, let's say, like 18½ centimeters, give or take. So here he is, and he looks really good. He definitely has a lot of detail going on here with the face, and he kind of looks like Red Hood underneath, with that helmet or mask or whatever that is. He definitely looks really cool. Yeah, and don't really know too much about the Curse of the White Knight storyline or the White Knight in general, but I know that I like this look, and he definitely works well with this. So he's got some gold, he's got some different shades of red, he's got some detailing here that isn't just, painted. This is actually sculpted in there, and you have some sculpting with the weird looking cape that he's all about, where it's basically just a whole bunch of lines. But these definitely work well. They're good for what they are. Definitely not my choice of how a cape would look, but it's what this guy's all about, and yeah. So it definitely works well. He has some really cool detailing here with like some straps and some things here, and he's got his gauntlets, and he's got some glove detailing here with what almost looks like these like pointed fingernails or something like that. It's really cool. He's got plenty of gold detail. He's got quite a utility belt with some crosses, and he's got like a knife thing there, and he's got some more belts, some more stuff back here, a really cool gold thing on the back. He's got some chains there and all of that. And he's got this thing that, there's this on this side, and then there's kind of a similar thing on the back. And, yeah, so he's got some really cool boots. I really like this look, how it's kind of like, it's almost like medieval, but also like a modern superhero at the same time. I think that's really cool. And, yeah, he is a big, big guy. So, yeah, and I really just like the detail, like, especially on the back there, with, like, all of the different, like, cloth that, like, overlaps each other. It's like this guy isn't wearing just, like one piece. He's got like a whole thing going on, and it's really cool. So for the articulation here, he has his head. It's kind of what you would expect for a DC Multiverse figure, but also a big guy like this. So he's not going to have a ton of range, but that's totally fine. And then for the shoulders, they go up about that far, and I feel like that's understandable given the design. Now, they do go forward like that. This one probably more so because it doesn't have this thing in the way. And then, yeah, so going back, they go like that far. It's pretty good. And then for the elbow joint. If y'all were expecting double jointed elbows, sorry, but he only gets a single jointed. But I think that's fine because he's got really big muscles there, so he won't be able to have his arms go up all the way, and that's fine. So because they are single jointed, there is a little bit of a, well, actually, hold on, there's a bicep swivel there. Forgot about that. So yeah, I guess because of the bicep swivel, there's a little bit of a hinge. These don't really turn by themselves, and then with the ball jointed wrists, that's pretty good, so you can do that kind of a thing. And then for the torso, he has a double ball peg type thing there where he can go with both of them together, back that far and forward that far. I think that's fair. It's obviously not perfect range, but again, this guy's really big. And then for the legs, they can go up like that, they can go back like that, they can go out. Look at that, all the way. No problem there. Really good. And yeah, so there's that. And then they go just straight forward that far, and straight back that far. I did kind of show that's like if you have them go forward and then out to the side, they can go a little bit farther, but that's all good. So there is a little bit of a swivel, but not much. And then you have a single, well, actually, no, this is more of a double. Yeah, it's a double. Almost a double cheeseburger. Right now I'm hungry. But yeah, so we have that. And then we have, this one's stuck up here, but, yeah, whatever. You'll get the idea that both of these can turn, and he's got some good range there. So he could definitely, like, do some sort of a running pose. And then speaking of running pose, y'all would need ankles for that. And his ankle joints are what you would expect for McFarlane toys. It's kind of a ratcheted ball hinge, which isn't my favorite thing in the world, but it's okay. And then the toe hinge, it looks kind of weird, but it works. Yeah, so that's what Azrael's got going on with just him. Now, as far as what he comes with, well, depending upon how you count, he either comes, it depends on what you want to consider an accessory, because he either comes with one accessory, or he comes with two accessories, or he comes with three accessories, or he comes with four accessories. So, I know that sounds really confusing, but I already showed you this card, where it shows some artwork, and that has that information. And then you also get what you would expect with all of these. You get the DC display stand, which is, you know, y'all would expect those at this point. But then you also get his sword. And this sword is really cool. It's really simplistic, I know, but that's what I like about it. It does have some detail there, and it's cool. So you'll notice that it is on fire. And if you don't want it to be on fire, you don't have to have it on fire. Y'all can just have the sword for what it is. But you also get this flame accessory that, yeah, I know it's really basic, but again, I like it for that. So you could have it going this way, or if you wanted, you could have it, I've done this before, hold on. Hold up. There we go. Yeah, so if you wanted to have the sword like in the ground and the flames coming out of it, you could have that too. And that looks really cool. And, yeah, so that's about it. And then what you can do is y'all can take his hand, and it's a little tight to get that in there, but it does work really well. So there we go. And yeah, now he's got his sword, and he's ready to rock and roll with whatever his mission is, whatever he's supposed to be doing. And yeah, that's about it. So then for the box, y'all can tell this is an early figure because of the box. I mean, not really from the front necessarily, but with the back, with its advertisement of the other figures that you're supposed to collect. You have Wonder Woman 1984, you have the early animated Superman figure, and then you have the Arkham figures from the first wave of 2020. So this is definitely an older figure, but you know what? Here's what I say about that. This figure, he is old. I will admit that. You know, this is an early figure that they made there. But I feel like if they go back to their roots, you know, not really their roots of, you know, back when they were just making statues. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if they were to look back and say, hey, what did we do with our DC figures that made them so popular? They were big, they had really good detail, and they had some really good articulation. And it was all of that at $20. And everybody liked that. There were some people that didn't like that, but the people that did like it, they liked it. And then they started to do a whole bunch of weird stuff. And here's what I say. Like, I think this is a newer figure, obviously, from the new Batman Robin wave. But I feel like this is a good example, too, of just like, hey, this is a good representation of the figure of that particular character design, and it works. And what I feel like is they need to take a step back and just think, okay, what can we make that would be popular, would be cool, and also wouldn't be this type of thing of just like, oh, here's, whatever. But yeah, y'all get what I'm trying to say. So basically, in conclusion, TLDR is this guy's really cool. I highly recommend him if you're into this design, if you're into the character of Azrael, and you can find him for a good price. So I would definitely recommend that, and stay tuned for upcoming McFarlane releases, because there is definitely something that is going to be coming soon that I want to review. And if y'all want to see that, then definitely be sure to be on the lookout for that. And if you enjoyed this video in particular, then be sure to leave a like. And yeah, comment, like, what do you think of Azrael? And what do you think of this design? And what do you think of what's going on with the whole DC Multiverse stuff right now? Because it's not the best, but it's also not the worst. And I feel like if they focus a little bit more toward what they used to make and sort of going back to the basics a little bit, but also considering, learning from their mistakes and saying, hey, let's have better likeness technology and better articulation, that kind of thing, I think it would be really solid. So, yeah, that's all I have to say now. So I hope you enjoyed this super long video, but I will see you all later. Goodbye.